I've had to be very intentional about opening my space up to people to develop a deeper connection with. Because I do believe that's important for me. That's just, we need each other. That's how the world works. We need each other, but I need you to be in a good space yourself. So
Build $1,000,000 legacy with purpose.
we back. We missed a week though, right, Tamiko?
Yeah, we were on sabbatical still.
Well, we had an interruption in our comeback.
That's it.
And that's okay, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that.
It was spirits and souls saying, not yet, take one more week. One more week. I was like, okay.
Okay. Yeah, but we're back and we're glad to be back. I hope everyone is doing well. We are now. We had some debriefing time. But with that said, I'm Dr. Marnita on fire. Yeah, I am an achievement and performance coach, and we're having combos for your calling under the platform of Build $1,000,000 Legacy with Purpose. And I have my amazingly extraordinary co-host. Y'all, she is all that and a bag of chips, as they may say. I love me some Tamiko.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love me some Tamiko. But here's Tamiko, our co-host.
Welcome. And thank you, Marnita, for that amazing introduction. I'll pay you later. We'll work for potato chips. Kettles, don't bring me no mess. Anyway, I'm Tamiko Ruby J, Reiki master teacher and spiritual coach and mentor. And guess what, y'all? We're having fun out here in these streets, believe it or not.
We really are.
And I also want to say a real deep blessings. Number one to Marnita, who is in Tampa, Florida, and that she was graced and blessed to be able to navigate that storm in a way that wasn't too detrimental to her personal, but has also been able to show up and show out and be there for others. And being not only that beautiful soul that creates a space for people to have a safe conversation, but also being that vehicle and that amazing saint that is able to hear and share that word is needed in that moment with this type of devastation. When nature devastates things is one thing. You know, I'm a minimalist. But one thing a friend of mine said to me about things, you know, it's one thing when you choose to get rid of your stuff versus when your stuff is just gone from a natural disaster or whatever the case may be. So that's just something to think about. You know, it's easier for one to say, well, at least you have your life, unless you've been in that position where you have to really think in that moment, well, praise God, at least I have my life.
Yeah.
Because people real flip with cliches until you live in it.
Until you in it. Boy, when you in it, it's a different type of feeling.
Yep.
It's a different type of conversation, and the way you communicate. And it's just, it's easy to talk when you're living outside of it. Oh, you should just. Which brings me to our conversation today.
Yep.
Which brings me to our conversation today. You know, I always pass things by Tamiko Ruby J before we really get into it. And so
y'all should be in the green room because that's where the real conversation is. Telling you, backstage.
And we were supposed to have this conversation last week, but something, you know, life be lifing. I know how life be life. I was about to take take on a hurricane, and Tamiko, she was doing some stuff there in Cleveland. And I said, girl, let's just let's
go pause for the cause.
well, we have to go with the flow because life is not always gonna accommodate us. And you were just saying that, weren't you, Tamiko? Life is not always gonna accommodate us in what it is we want when we want it. So we have to be able to be versatile in the way we move. We have to be flexible. We have to be able to take it as it comes. We have to be something. So this was a saying, like, you have to be in the flow. I don't really know what that means, but you have to be able to flow with the things that are happening, because when you're putting up resistance, then things are not good for anybody.
Well, and that's the one thing you'll notice, and I think I've texted this to you before. Tamiko, how's it going? I'm ebbing and flowing.
Yeah.
And the ebb and the flow, because the ebb and the flow is what we dealt with last week. Like we were there, we showed up, and it was just like I'm scratching my head, like damn. I had to shave my head. It's a whole lot going on. If I can't shave my head, like, you know what, that's my thing. Like, what's up? But it was one of those. It was just a thing. It was just like, you know, it's not gonna happen today.
Yeah.
You got a hurricane.
And she was cute, y'all. Let me tell you, she was cute.
There's a lot.
Yeah, she had on her like glasses. I'm like, nah, I didn't even tell her. I'm like, those are cute.
Oh yeah,
no, they weren't the blue rim. They were the yellow rim. Y'all,
those yellow glasses.
She had the yellow rim glasses. I'm like,
yeah.
I like those.
Oh yeah. Now I have my canary yellow, and I mean canary yellow, y'all. This is
yes
traffic light. Like I'm stopping people turning and looking. I'm like, I know, yep.
You're looking good.
Prescriptions. So I got yellow, blue, black, tortoise shell, and now purple.
Oh, purple is my favorite. Y'all see my background. Purple is my favorite.
Yes, and it's like the purple on the P, on the arm of the P.
Okay.
Yeah, it's purple. So
girl,
we coming with all the chakra coverage. So whatever glasses I have on, that's what perspective I'm seeing from.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, we had on the yellow glasses last week.
So today we are talking about how words impact your attitude. You know, the overall thing for this season 2, y'all, we in season 2. The overall thing for season 2 is it's your attitude. So this episode under season 2 is about how your words impact your attitude. And what brought that to mind is that not only have we just experienced Hurricane Milton, but that was coming on the back end of Hurricane Helene. And when I got back in town after Hurricane Helene had landed and did what she did, I ran into or were picking up some people who had lost. They came back from a cruise and their car had been submerged underwater, so they lost their car. Took them to their home, and then their home had taken on about 4 feet of water. Lost everything there. And just listening to them and the words that they were saying and the expression on their face and the emotion that was flowing within this confined space that we were in, it was a lot. And it made me think about how our words impact our attitude. And so I text Tamiko right away, like, what about having a conversation about this? And she's like, heart. And so that's why we're here today, because words are so powerful. They will not return, like once you put them out there, they will not return void. They're going to come back with something. And I just think that for the most part, the masses of people are not aware of the words that are coming out their mouths, and they're wondering why they're feeling a certain kind of way. It's hard to hear yourself when you're such in a pattern in a habit of saying certain things that you don't hear yourself saying it, but it's impacting you and you don't know that it's impacting you. It's impacting your mental health, your spiritual health, and your physical health, all three. Oh my goodness, when I just said that, it's impacting all. I was just thinking about your emotional health, really, like your attitude and how the words that you say impact that. But when I just said that, that's not what it's just impacting. It's impacting all of that. Am I right, Tamiko?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, Tamiko and I, we were talking in the green room, and I asked her, there are certain words that may trigger you, but may not trigger me, but you need to be aware on how they land with you. I think that's so important to really be aware on how your words are landing with you. And later on, we're going to give you kind of like a blueprint and a framework on how to begin to implement this in your daily. You can use it if you like. If not, it's okay too. And it's not for everybody. We get that too. But I just wanted to come here and have a real conversation about that part.
The beauty in it too, Marnita, in what you said, when we talk about words, right? And we don't often hear ourselves. How many times have you heard a person say, I don't like to hear myself. I don't like to hear my voice. I don't like to hear I don't like to hear myself recorded.
All the time.
All of the
Has anybody in the audience ever said, I don't like the way my voice sounds? Think about that part, just that statement alone. How does that make you feel about who you are? Like, what is your, like, how does that impact your attitude about you?
And if you don't like the way you sound, there's a strong possibility that you feel that others don't either or either. So one of the things that I have people do in coaching, because I'm a huge journaler, I love to write. That is my therapy. It has been my therapy for over as long as I could write. Okay. I actually have active over 45 handwritten journals dating back to 1984 to current. Okay. But what I find like now, there's so much going through my head at any given time. And most of the time we have these bricks with us. So there's something called a voice memo. And so sometimes, especially when I'm in my vehicle, that is just my moving oasis, right? I'll record myself. Something I'm thinking about, I'll just record it. And sometimes it's 2 minutes, sometimes it might be 10 or 15 minutes, but you'd be amazed at how you speak and you think. How you speak and you think to yourself. So often we're so worried about how we feel and what's being said and how we're presenting to others. I like to have people turn that inward. How are you presenting, feeling, and thinking to yourself? To thyself be true. And words have power. And some of this stuff that we will think and or do to ourselves, we would never do that to somebody else.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
So that's where, so when you said this about words having power and certain words having trigger, then we have to be careful being in this sense of, well, first of all, that if you have to start with well, that's one of those disclaimer. What I meant was, but that person is telling you what they felt. Right?
Yes.
So that's one of those things. And being able to be in an exercise where, have you ever done this exercise where you and a person, you sit together, preferably somebody you don't know, if it is, or you don't know well. And then that person has talks and tells you something about something, and they get to talk for 2 whole minutes. You can't ask a question. Preferably, you can't do a lot of body gestures or facial gestures. You're just actively listening. What I have found over my career is that is a very uncomfortable position for some people. Okay. To be the active listener with no expression. Right. These are how we can find out what our trigger words are or what triggers us.
That's good, Tamiko.
Mhm.
That's good. So I get someone, preferably someone that I don't know. I don't know. Is that right?
Mhm. You can start with somebody you do know, because I think it's fun when it's somebody you do know, because we think we know.
Or who's not as close to you.
Exactly.
Okay.
No,
So
you know what, Marnita? I would challenge you to do it with your niece, because you guys are super close. And I think that that would be a really good one, because you would be like, wow, I didn't think that that would happen.
you know, my niece would be a good choice. You know why? She, as great as she is so good at being unemotional. She is like, I think she's the master at it myself. She is so good at being unemotional. She can have that stone look, and you're like, so what do you think?
Mhm. And in this, you're not even asking, you're sharing.
You're
So
just
you're
sharing.
just sharing. And it would be interesting, because you don't want them, you're not saying that they can't respond, but you're asking them to hold the response.
Until you finish. So are you just picking a story or
Yep.
something to
You
tell
could pick,
them?
yep, you could pick a story, you can pick something you want to describe. Usually I'll have something that
This
I'm,
is a great homework lesson.
oh yeah, these are the type of things that, because this teaches us, um these are things that help us evaluate and see ourselves,
Mm.
and see how we show up with others, what that feels like with others. um Another one of those exercises with words is sitting in a group of people, right? And these were classes, and then each one of these individuals went around the room and said how they felt about you. Okay.
Mm.
And it was 10 people in the class. By the time we got to the sixth person, I was done. I was so uncomfortable with being able to sit and allow people to give me accolades. It made me visibly uncomfortable. Now, mind you, I can do it, I can give it, but to sit in it, and by the time we got to the sixth person, I was bawling.
That's good.
Bawling. There was still 4 more people to go.
Mm.
I was like, I need a break.
What do you think about this exercise? We're talking about words, how they impact us, how they impact our attitude. What do you think about an exercise like this? And so if you have a list, make a list of 20, like a piece of paper, 1 through 20, and fill out as many things that of how you see yourself. Like, I am confident, I am competent, I am great, I am, I am statements. And see if you can get to 20.
Mhm.
If you can't get to 20, give it to somebody who knows you
Mhm.
and let them fill out the other.
Mhm.
Because
I've done that before too. Yeah, that's a good one.
that's how they see you.
Mhm.
So I had done that one time, and one thing that I didn't put on there on my I am list is I am an anchor. That's
Mhm.
how somebody see me.
Mhm.
I didn't put that. I didn't see that.
Mhm.
Oftentimes, and they have put, um, I am secure.
Mhm.
Like that's what they were sharing. Like that wasn't on my top list. And
And
so it's interesting.
is it on your top list now?
Yeah. And
Really?
well, yeah, it's like it's in the 20. because when they said that, it's like, it's something that I would never say about myself, but I feel that I am. Does that make sense?
Okay.
I would never say it about myself, but I am a space. I hold as I hold a space, but I feel like I am a person that people can feel secure. That's why I feel people share so much of themselves, like with with me, and their level of vulnerability is like way high when they're talking with me. They share stuff with me, and I don't even know them. So it's almost like I feel like I'm a safe space for people.
Mhm. Okay. That's good, because I think one of the things for me in that exercise, and even in the written exercise, there are certain things that I see for me, but I don't necessarily embrace, take on, invite other people's opinion of me.
Yeah, I get
I just
that.
don't. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, that is wonderful. Yay, fabulous, awesome.
It's fine because I sometimes I'm curious, like, that's interesting. Like if somebody said something like, I see you this way, or you are
For
this,
me.
I would ask them, also, I would ask them, that's interesting. What makes you say that?
Mhm,
So maybe they can give me some insight that I'm not seeing about
mhm,
myself. Uh,
mhm,
which we're all here for three things. We're all here to connect, contribute, and to communicate with each other, right? So, I mean, to create. So to create, connect, and contribute.
mhm,
So we all need each other. So if I'm building a tight, and I don't have very many people in my circle, and it's like, it's so tight. I have been so good at being like to myself for such a long time. It has been, I've had to be very intentional about opening my space up to people to develop a deeper connection with,
mhm,
because I do believe that's important for me. That's just, we need each other. That's how the world works. We need each other, but I need you to be in a good space yourself. So maybe we can help each other reciprocate, back and forth on how we can become better.
mhm. And
Because
that's
I know you've helped me a lot. Like I'll be talking to you. I'm like, that's interesting, Tamiko. Tell me more.
thank you. Thank you. And that that's a very beautiful analogy. Thank you for sharing that. Because the funny thing about me, and I've just come to this realization, like, who knew? But I am a very, very good intra extrovert.
Intra within, extra, like when you need to
Extrovert.
be verbs.
I mean, so you can throw me in a room of barracudas, whatever the case may
Good.
be, it don't matter. I'm good. I don't have to know nobody. I'm good. We gonna da. We gonna be in there 3 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, whatever the time. But once I'm done, I gotta retreat. I don't want to hear a pin drop.
So when you say intra extrovert,
Because
I know, is that also referred to as, they call it ambivert?
I don't know, I haven't heard that expression, but
Okay, all right.
because because a lot of people, they would say, well, Tamiko, she out here, she gonna be on, she's doing this, she's doing the things, da. But I'm also that person, you're gonna see me and then you won't. Like, I disappear. Okay. And now in this phase of my life, for days.
I think, well,
Okay.
Tamiko, I think we all need to retreat. Um,
But some people can't. They
some
that
people can't.
some people
That's
can't.
important. It's
They
so
have to
important.
be able to always stay connected to someone or some things. My thing is, we can connect to the masses, but then we're going to disconnect from all of that to connect to a higher level of just being able to vibrate in that. And I think it's very interesting, like right now, watching my life progression, because I'm noticing a new pattern and how I even how I work, even, you know, because there, when you're able to see certain levels of things, um and I'll say just at a different a higher perspective or vibration than most, um it can be insightful, but it also can be very isolating. Okay, because you know, like you're, I love you, you say you're coming into and you're understanding, like people share a lot. People finally feel safe enough to a place where they can share.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful thing about human nature now. It's okay to tell your story. It's okay to say how you feel in the moment. And that is not always how people have felt. I've always been able to have that experience with people. I think the even crazier part is 20 years from now when I see you again, I'm like, so how's that grandson doing? You're like, oh my God, you remember that? He's an astronaut now. He was 4. You know. But I think that the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing about where we are in life right now is people are learning how to actually be in the space with people, to be there now, to be in it, to hear people, to be open to the conversation and to see each other. I think that that's been the most rewarding part of my entire career, because for 30 years I was able to be up close and personal with people right here a lot of times.
Yeah.
So going from that space of being where you're one on one with a person, helping them feel and want to be their best self, putting their best skin or best face forward. Okay, so that was the day job. But the evening job, we're doing just the opposite. We're creating illusions because now a person has to become a character. So in my world, it was kind of fun because there's times that I felt like I was the character. Like sometimes we Tamiko and sometimes we over here. So it was just a very interesting, because then we Quentin's mom, or you know, we Barbara's daughter, or you know, so that is the world in which I navigated in, and to some it sounded so cool. And it was like, yeah, but it's kind of crazy, y'all, for real, because you're literally adjusting all of those different dynamics, all of that. Imagine being in that world 24/7. Because if
Yeah.
you think about, you know, entertainment, they work on the weekends, they work evenings, they work holidays,
Yeah.
right? And you might have actors and actresses that are leads off Broadway. We got a Christmas Eve show. We have a Christmas Day matinee. They here with no family.
Yeah.
You know, so you create families and spaces for people, and these are the type of things. So, you know, impromptu Thanksgiving dinner turns into a live theatrical theater in somebody's living room. I mean, just stuff like that. So now to be on this side of it, you know what I mean by this side of life, it has me sitting and thinking, like you said, about the things. What is the quality
What a quality.
or the quality of life moving across country and not taking the things, you know? My portfolio didn't go with me to Arizona because I had no interest in that type of going there, living that life. I was 2 minutes from LA. I was 2 minutes from Vegas. That would have been an easy transition into that world out there, right? But
Right.
not what I went there for. It was to be able to adjust, to pivot, to ebb, to flow, and to now come into this side of it.
You know, I love how clear you are with what it is that you want. You are like, you are hyper. I don't run across very many people who are hyper clear, who have hyper clarity, and that hyper clarity gives you the ability to create the story behind what it is that you want for yourself, because there's always a story connected to what it is you want.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And when you have that ability, because you are clear to create the story based on what you want, then that begins to create a perspective which has a significant impact on like you emotionally and your attitude and how you move forward in that story. And I think like you're really good at that. And maybe you coach your clients on how to be able to get up to that part.
Yeah, because that's the part. I mean, I feel blessed. You know, when I went into makeup artistry, Marnita, I knew I wanted to be a makeup artist. And I knew that it meant more than being behind the fashion fair counter or the MAC counter. Like I knew, like I was like, no, this is Broadway. We talking movies. And so people like, well, how you gonna do that? You from Cleveland.
See that part.
I didn't have as much of a problem with the fact that I was from Cleveland, other than the fact that I was single with a child. I didn't care about the fact that I was from Cleveland. I was gonna make it. If, you know, between me and God, we're gonna make this happen. But I gotta make sure that I stay somewhat grounded in all of this big willingness that I got going on in my mindset, so that there is a foundation for the little. Okay. So as soon as the little got old enough where I think he thought that he could handle some of the stuff that he was seeing, he was right there with me. 9 years old, he backstage too. I'm like, okay, we cannot be backstage during this time because there's gonna be a lot of TNA running around backstage. Okay. And we ain't gonna have no freak outs with my kid. I'll kill something. We ain't having all of that. Okay. So, but it worked. And you see what I'm saying? So when I learned early in life, when I set my mind to something and I got hell bent on focused on it, and then got behind it, got hell out the way, things happen. Things happen. Yes, being from Northeast Ohio, y'all, from Cleveland, what they will tell you, and people here, they work hard, but dang, y'all, for what? What's the end game? You're doing all of this, all of this, all of this, all of this for what? For what? As the song say, so when you gonna get to the good part? I'm getting to the good part now.
That's good.
I'm gonna get to the good part now, because now it's about living and being in the space of enjoying. You know, like I'm watching some of these people here, you know, trying to have conversations with people that are trying to get to a place that you've been, right? And want to give them the, like, you can do it this way. It's real easy. There's a lot happening here. A lot of people don't recognize that Northeast Ohio is second to New York as far as live theater district. And folks still sitting up here trying to figure out how to be a makeup.
Yeah. It's a story. It's the words in your story.
That's the word. And I let them talk.
That creates
the done talking, guess what? So am I. I'm done listening. Opportunity time is over. I'm done. I'm gone. I can't. Because as long as you say whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right.
You're right.
And here's the beautiful thing about an artisan, okay? I don't care what kind of art it is you create. There's somebody out here besides you that likes it. But there also might be people out here that don't. But what you have to be able to do is understand who you are and what you show up as. You could be the coldest makeup artist, the coldest hairdresser, the coldest entertainer in the world. But if you hard to deal with, nobody gonna be bothered with you. They don't have to. You ain't that damn talented.
Yeah.
And if you are, start on stage.
Attitude is everything.
It's everything. And it gets back to that attitude. You know, it used to crack people up, because my thing is, as long as I'm still laughing with you, we good. If I start laughing at you, we're not. And if I get quiet, it's over.
Yeah.
It's in that order.
Often people ask me, I run into a lot of people, they'll ask me, well, like, how are you doing? And, how's your day going? And I'll say, I'm finding myself say more often now, I have an amazing life. And I do. Why do you have an amazing life? And I would say 80% of them will say, oh, like that. Like they would say, oh, like how did that happen?
Yep.
And so let me tell you how it happened. I tell myself stories of what's going to happen. So I started playing, y'all know I'm a pickleball champ, right? Y'all see what just
Champion. Champion. Olympian.
I'm a pickleball champion, right? I've been playing almost a year. And I decided that I am gonna be in 5 pickleball tournaments in 5 different states this year. I made that affirmation on my birthday for myself this year. So this year until my birthday next year, I'm gonna be in 5 pickleball tournaments in 5 different states. And then I'll start to tell them about like the type of life that I have. I can go anywhere in the world. All I need is internet. And so we can have our weekly convos, and I can find an open pickleball court with social play and meet all different types of people. I write, I coach, I do like Tamiko. I was telling my co-host and we do a YouTube channel. I said, I have an amazing life.
So can I add something?
What?
When you go to your 5 pickleball championships, you're a champion.
I'm a champion.
We ain't just going there to say
I'm a champion. No, I go all 10 down. I go
to be
Girl,
a champion.
I would show you my pickleball paddle if it was accessible, but it's not right now. But the guy is gonna make me a personalized ring to go around my handle that says Dr. M. I'm like, you know it.
That's right.
And I have an amazing life.
There you go.
I have so much latitude and liberty. And that came from me telling myself the story.
That's it.
Nobody told me that I would be doing this.
But nobody told you that you wouldn't either. Oh,
true. Ooh. Like nobody really could have even pickleball is new, right? Somewhat new. It's not like real new, but it's somewhat new, especially in our community. And because most people I say, well, I play pickleball. What's that? YouTube it. And one of my best friends, not best friends, the best things that I could have ever done is, y'all know I read a lot.
And play pickleball.
Play pickleball. I read about 3 books a week.
Yeah.
3 books a week. And that has really helped me expand my imagination of what's possible for me. Mm-hmm. Not based on what I read, but just based on my ability to create these great animated stories of what I am living into, not trying to live in. That's a word Tamiko and I was telling Tamiko, that's a word, that trying word, it's a word that it makes my skin crawl.
I remember the first time when we did that one. That was early into the early episodes, guys. You got to watch those too because they was fun. Because we both was up here trying to figure each other out, and Marnita was saying that because trying is a word to me. I'd rather you cry than to try. Because at least if you crying, you did already put the try in, okay? But anyway, but that word trying, so we did an exercise where I was like, pick up the pencil. Put it down, pick it up, put it down, put it down. And then I was like, so are you trying to pick it up or are you picking it up?
Right.
Because it can be such a filler cop-out word.
Yeah.
So
another like a phrase, another word that really triggers me. And I think everyone should have you should know the words that make you feel a kind of way, right? You should know what those words are so you can avoid them. Right? Make up another word that you can replace it with. Replace, rewrite, reframe, preframe. Y'all remember that conversation that we had a long time ago? Like, we're going way back now.
Way back. Y'all, look,
way
so
back.
there's like
Y'all remember that conversation we had?
There's 12 episodes.
Replace, rewrite, reframe, preframe. If you don't know, go back into the beginning of season 1. We had a conversation about that. But when you begin to put your own level of ambition and desires in the story, you become this like story creator, storyteller, and it's about your life, and that's what's important. And Tamiko said something that was interesting in the green room. She said, I don't ever want to be the person that's just living life, like existing. I want to have a life that is worth living.
That's what I said. I don't want to ever be that person that's just existing.
I want to be the person that has a life I'm living.
That I'm living, and that's worth living.
That's worth living.
It's worth living. And I came to that realization. It was like a symbol, boom, and then it was like, got it.
Right. So we got a framework.
Yeah, we do.
We got a framework. So here's the framework for you. It's fun. That even makes me smile when I say it. It's fun.
It is fun. Say it again, please. Say it again.
Fun. Let me lean in and say it. Fun. So F-U-N, fun. And the F is for faith. And I was sharing with Tamiko, like, we need to have like more faith on whose we are based on whose we are, not necessarily who we think we are, because whose we are will always show up for us. We are consistently telling ourselves like story, lie after lie. Let me say it like it really, let me just be transparent. We are always lying to ourselves. So have more faith in whose you are, more than faith than you have on who you think you are. Because those are two separate conversations. And if you don't know whose you are, we don't have time to get in that today. There's a whole nother episode in and of itself, but DM us and we'll create some conversation around that. The you is for underscore your thoughts. Underscore. So when you underscore something, that means you had to intentionally take a pen or a highlight and go over it and put a line under it. Underscore that thought because you want to make sure it's what you want coming out your mouth, because anything that comes out your mouth do not return to you void.
That part.
And then the end is do it now. Now means now in the moment, and each, like, now is another moment. Now is another moment. Now, so it is consistently do that all the time. Fun. Because when you begin to input the fun into the process of being very careful about your words, what the outcome is favor. So the input of fun releases an outcome of favor.
And that favor you get in the present.
You get it in the present. That's why the
in the present.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. But just remember, at the end of the day and at the beginning of the day, ladies and gentlemen, that is all about having fun. You just heard what Dr. Marnita said, and she is an impact coach. That she changed the framework on how she approaches each day that she goes into the world, and she embraces, claims, and shares that with others. So it's not just a ride share that someone experiences with her. It's an impactful life share every single day. These people, these clients, And when you're a person that operates, in coaching, they say, well, there's no standard or there's no certification in qualifying one's ability, or what's another word, ability, or even credentials to be able to coach. For me, that's like saying that no one actually has the credentials or the framework to be a mother or a father, but that don't stop them from having kids. And sometimes the wonderful thing about a beautiful parent, the first child catch hell. The fourth child, the golden child, catches hell by the first child.
Right.
Because now the parents done relaxed. And it's a different mindset. And I see that with good coaches. People that experience some things in life, people that have done some things, people that have some wisdom, and has also continued to do the work. When we do this, not only am I experiencing and enjoying, but I'm being coached as well, as sharing and giving coaching as well. And that's the beautiful thing about the dynamic of coaching and or mentoring. Mentoring means you've lived it and you can give examples on how you got it done. That doesn't mean it's going to work the same way for somebody else. It doesn't. The beautiful thing about coaching, because that was a word for me, like, and if you've ever played sports and had a so-called not so great coach, that becomes a trigger word. But what I heard someone say is that a coach is someone that can see it in you and have a real idea in how you can see it in you and get there to where you're trying to get to also. They know that game. They know that life. They know that experience enough to be able to help you see it and get there too.
Yeah.
Now, when you put it in that perspective, you could go to Yale, you could go to Princeton, you could go to Harvard, you could go to Tri-C, that's Cuyahoga Community College, one of the top college, junior colleges in the country.
Right.
But what life will teach you is how to show up and truly live and win at this thing called life. So you got this chief impact officer coach over here who is also about to be an international pickleball champion in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Okay, because if they got badminton in the Olympics, I know pickleball soon to come.
Oh, it's next. They already
it's
said
soon to come. It's soon to come. Okay. And Dr. Marnita going to be the first one over in her age bracket to win a gold medal. Anywho,
I heard to be a private coach, all of that, girl. Like
all
I'm
of whatever, all of the things.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it is. No, not even what it takes, whatever you got. Because whatever you got, what it takes. All right. Yeah. Say whatever it takes, you got it. Just whatever you
already got it. Yeah.
You already got it. All right. So the beauty and the essence in that, and what we said in this combo today about the attitude, and if you can keep the attitude about fun, and that fun meaning remember that words, the faith in which you are speaking, make sure you know who you speaking from and who you speaking to. That underscoring your thought. We've both given you personal example of how our underscoring our thought throughout life has got us where we are today. And then the now, the end, which is the now. Being present, paying attention. Because I'm here to say we know one of the biblical things that they say in the word is favor ain't fair. But we also know that the divine is present at all times.
Yeah.
And so we are in this space right now where we are being presented with the present. Are we going to unpack it as a gift? Are we gonna kick it over and throw it away as trash?
Mm.
I'm trying to accept all of my gifts right now as presents. So let's have some fun, y'all. Let's keep having some fun.
Let's have some fun. I love it. This was a great conversation, Tamiko. What you think?
I think so.
I love it.
I think we did good. Yeah, we showed up. We showed all the way out. I'm glad for today. Today has been a very, very good day because last week it was interesting. And people stay healthy. Drink y'all water and stuff. It's a lot of um
in Cleveland.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the city, y'all. You know, the sun went in. So just get healthy. Drink your water and be present, have some fun, and watch your words. You notice I didn't say watch your mouth. I said watch your words. Remember old folks used to say, watch your mouth. Don't watch your whole mouth, just watch your words.
This has been amazing. I am excited, and I hope this has added value to your world today. Definitely it has added value to mine, and we're having a conversation.
I have faith that it did, and you showed up and you brought it. You brought it today. You brought it today, Marnita. You brought it today.
All right, girl.
You don't bring it every day, but you brought it.
I'm bringing it.
Okay.
Yeah, I bought it.
Well, we got Helene and Marvin up there mad at each other, tearing up Tampa. You know, and see what happened when y'all piss off Mother Nature, and all of a sudden they get to tearing stuff up.
I know, right? Exactly. Until next week.
All righty.
We will see you again. Have a great week and an amazing word-filled week that's just going to transform your life into whatever it is you want it to be.
Amen to that one. Be blessed, have fun, and enjoy the remaining part of this week because I'm going to.
All right.